Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Well, it was a resounding hello, wasn't it?
Quite
Anyway,
resounding.
okay. Do you want to give the introduction?
I could do better than you.
Okay, go on then. I'm just going to sit
Today we
here.
are going to be talking about the hero's journey. You may recall from last week's video, our boat is called Follow Your Bliss. Now, who wrote that particular quote? That even rhymes.
It's a man called Joseph Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
And the full quote is this: follow your bliss and doors will open where you thought there were none. Now, Joseph Campbell, who died in 1984, was a wonderful man, very wise in many respects, and he collected stories from all over the world. And he said, in conclusion, that there is really only one story, and it's the story of someday, man or woman, young or old, who is called to an adventure. And they may refuse it, but eventually they go on their journey, and that journey transforms them, and then they return to their tribe, their community, wherever they came from, but they are transformed. They brought something back.
Not gold and silver, but something more worthwhile.
It could be experience, wisdom and insight, something like that. And so really that's what underlies our journey on our boat, is this idea that we left our comfort zone, we left our community in southwest London,
Richmond, which is, let me tell you, very comfortable.
Yeah, we lived 100 yards from the Thames. It's a lovely spot, but something didn't feel right. We wanted a different financial lifestyle where we weren't under constant pressure to pay rent and council tax and so forth, and that led us to buying a narrowboat.
And I think we also wanted an adventure, didn't we? At least I did.
No, absolutely. That's it. You see, what happens if we get too stuck in our comfort zone? We stagnate.
Yes.
And, we are built to have new experiences. Some people, do wild things like kind of snowboarding down mountains or climbing Machu Picchu by foot or something like that. But you've got to get out of your comfort zone in order to experience life in a more vivid form.
Yes.
And
I would say at any age, wouldn't you? I mean, people think about this in terms of the youthful.
Yeah.
We might have passed that particular stage of life, but
only just.
I would say it's just as important.
Yeah.
So all you chaps and chapesses out there of a certain age still thinking, oh, am I too old to do this, to take a chance, to get out my comfort zone? Do it.
Yeah.
The clock is ticking. I think it's more important.
It's an attitude of mind.
Yes.
Not let nothing stop you, and that was very much Joseph Campbell's philosophy. He said, say yes to the adventure.
Yes.
And that you're going to...
Did you say yes to the adventure?
Eventually, I did, yes.
It's a story to tell there.
Well, yes, maybe we keep that one back. I don't want my reputation sullied here. Just joking around. But seriously, I realized at this point from my own studies as a screenwriter, which uses the hero's journey as a sort of template for scripts, I realized that this was a real life hero's journey. I had a call to adventure and something went click inside me. This is the adventure. You're going to go on it. No, we thought about, can't do that. It's too expensive, or, what kind of boat? A lot of confusion on that. And eventually in September, as autumn was approaching, we found a boat. Right? And then the fourth stage of the hero's journey is the finding of the mentor. Literally, listen to this. As we drive up from London on the day that we're going to take over our boat and step on board, another guy turns up in a little white car, and he's a Brummie, because we're in the West Midlands.
You're going to try your Brummie accent, aren't you? Oh, apologies to all
Okay,
Brummies.
I may do.
Warning alert coming.
Like to do a bit of gardening?
No.
That's a sort of Brummie accent, but anyway, it's a wonderful guy, and he suddenly said, "Oh, well, I'm Bob. You just moved on to the boat. Our boat was called Tranqueval at the time." He said, "Yeah, that's right, Bob." And it turns out he's got 37 years boating experience. He fitted out his own narrowboat, which was more a couple of boats from ours, and he became our mentor. And I thought, oh my God, this is actually the hero's journey, and there are different stages to it. But at that point, I realized what I was on. Now, of course, people think, well, yeah, go off and have an adventure. Yes, that's what buying a boat is about. But the hero's journey isn't necessarily about everything really being cozy and nice and, hey, yes, we're just going along now and all, things falling into place. The hero's journey is also about tests. It's the meeting danger, being challenged and everything else. And that's exactly what happened. Would you agree with that in our first year?
There were many tests and challenges.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's where our book comes in, because we record it. I kept a diary every day, and some of it is you know, you think, why am I doing this? And I'm a masochist, you know. There's so much pain and hardship. You know, it's getting up the blue tiles. We had these blue tiles, but they being super glued to
Gorilla glued.
Yeah, and you know, you're really down to just chipping up little tiny flakes, which are flying off all the time and kind of, you know, like a war zone on my face.
I think one day I keep thinking we should do a chart of every single job that we've done on the boat, and it would be definitely in the high hundreds, I'm thinking.
I think
from the chipping up of the blue tiles to the pulling up of the floor to the repairing of this and the filling in of that, and it's still going on.
It is. We've done quite a lot of it now.
Yes.
But it's a bit like gambling. You think, well, the more you sit at the table, well, I might as well just stay here now. And you keep going, you keep going, you keep going.
Yes.
But anyway, in the end, we did complete things enough, and we did bring our boat back. We said to our friends, we'll be back by Christmas. Well, we got back by Christmas, but it was the following Christmas, okay? So it in some ways it was a hilarious journey. It was very harrowing. But what it did is, wow, you know, we discovered secret England.
Yes.
We saw places and met characters, and you know, it is more like a film, really, in a way. You think, am I actually experiencing this and talking to this strange character, and somebody's got this very weird boat in the middle of nowhere? So it was a life-changing experience. Now, it's not going to be the same for everybody, but to move from one state to another is a hero's journey. It may be moving from being single to being married, to being without children to having children, or moving from one town to another, or moving from land onto water. Okay, that can be a hero's journey as well. And you know, Joseph Campbell always said, yeah, you will have a lot of fear, you'll have a lot of anxiety, and we had that. Perhaps me more than you. Did you get anxious?
Yes,
moments of fear and despair. But you worked through that, and that is all about getting out of the comfort zone, going on your journey. So this is for everybody out there. I would say, if you have a dream of something that you'd love to do, you know, and you think, well, one day, mañana, I would say, no, don't. Set a time, set a goal, say, I'm going to leave my job, I'm going to leave this flat, I'm going to go on that trip that I've always dreamed of doing. Do it now. You know, do it now, don't wait. You know, you don't know, and this is my own recent experience, you don't know how long you've got.
No.
You think, oh, it'll be all right, I'll do it next year or the year after. But I say, do it now. So that's it for this week. Give you some water updates next week. Everything's fine, but talk a little bit more about that. Pussycat is fine.
Oh, yes.
She's fallen in a few times, but we bought a Turkish van who are famous.
A cat, not a car, by the way.
Yeah, I know some people thought we were going to buy a van in Warminster or somewhere,
We bought a cat.
but it's actually a cat. And they're famous from Lake Van in Turkey because they swim in the water. And certainly our cat can do that.
She did. She swam the whole length of the boat.
Yes.
2 weeks back. Yeah. We should do one on the pussycat one day.
Yes, make her the star.
I think so. She is a princess, it has to be said.
So that's it. I think more about how to run a business on a narrowboat, which is what we do, how to manage space space, how to control your possessions and stop them from just sort of proliferating, because you've got so little space on a narrowboat. Lifestyle, nature as well, the need to be close to nature and how that affects our health and well-being. All these things, we'll talk about them all in good time, and of course something totally unexpected will come up at some point, you bet. But I think, is there anything else you would like to say?
I think that pretty much covers it all for now.
Okay.
Until next week.
Right. Okay.
Follow your bliss, chaps and chapesses.
Yes. And doors will open where you thought there were none.